Hi, welcome back to our channel. And for those that are new here, I'm going to give a brief introduction about myself. So I'm Marvin Te. I'm an animator slash creative director here at Plainly Simple. So we are a motion design studio based in the Philippines, and we have been in the industry for about 10 years now. So what I'm about to say is only my opinion. I may be right, but I could also be wrong, so take this with a grain of salt. So I'm going to talk about AI. Currently, there are a lot of AI technologies, a lot of upcoming AI technologies. So Photoshop Beta has Firefly AI built in. So there's generative fill and other features. And there's Wonder Dynamics. What it does is you have a footage and it will replace the people in those footage with 3D characters that either you have modeled yourself or you have purchased on a 3D store like Sketchfab. I think that Wonder Dynamics also has like preset 3D models that was done by 3D artists. So that's Wonder Dynamics. And then there's Runway Gen 2. So this is a generative AI. So you just describe what you want, and then with a click of a button, it will generate that video. And currently, it's not there yet, but the technology would only improve. So the question is, will we be replaced by AI? And my short answer is no. Let's be clear about this. If a company is taking advantage against a certain group, that is not okay. It's not okay to use other people's work without their permission and profit from it. I'm not an expert in copyright law, so I'm not really in the position to say what is copyright infringement or not. But currently, there are class action lawsuits filed, so let's wait what the courts think. But no matter what we believe in, I think AI is here to stay. In the future, AI may evolve, it may transform. There may be regulations in place that would change how these companies train their AI models. But AI is here to stay. So going back to the question, I have 4 points why my answer is no. So point number 1. Currently, the only real AI animation is Runway Gen 2. It's because it's the only text to video that I have seen so far. I don't consider like stable diffusion techniques as AI animation because you still need to supply like the footage. So it's more like a filter rather than animation. And currently, Runway Gen 2 doesn't look great. It's okay, but it's not great. And even if it does produce like a good video, it's still very clear that an AI has done that. If you consider like all those points, motion designers are still needed. This is still in the like early phase, it's still in the development phase, and the technology would only improve over time. And I wouldn't be surprised that in the next few years, you wouldn't anymore distinguish or differentiate, or you couldn't even tell the difference between AI animation and human animation. And this leads me to my point number 2. So let's say AI has improved so much that it could do animation. It could do good animation. And let us say that in this future, the ethical aspect of AI has been resolved. In this future, is creativity dead? Is motion design dead? And my answer is still no. That is because in order to operate the AI to such a high level, you still need to have the skills. AI cannot operate itself. There needs to be an artist behind the AI. You need to have the concept. You need to have like the vision. Each artist or motion designer has their own like creative direction or vision, like what they want like the animation to look like. And you need this to guide the AI. let's take, for example, Corridor Crew. They've experimented with AI tools and the results are amazing. It's a highly creative work. And that is because they are artists. They understand composition, lighting, VFX, cinematography, and etc. It's not something that a non-creative could just use and the results is something like that. Okay, let's say AI can do animation, but what easing will it use? Will it apply squash and stretch? Will there be overlapping actions? Will the key posts be exaggerated or is it more on the realistic side? These are creative decisions that we make as animators. And if you don't have this skill and you use like AI, the output would be generic. So even if AI animation would be widespread, you still need motion designers to operate it. And if needed, a motion designer can make tweaks to the animation or maybe create their own version of the animation that if in case the output doesn't match their vision. So I've tried using ChatGPT to write a caption on one of our Instagram posts, and it's impressive. It's impressive in the sense that it's able to write something from nothing, and it's really related on like the topic that I asked it to. But it doesn't sound like me. It doesn't know me. It doesn't know my personality. It doesn't know what I know. It doesn't know what I'd like to focus on. I did like a lot of like back and forth with ChatGPT so that it would sound like me. And in the end, I had to use the output as a starting point and I edited it so that the write-up would sound like me and it would focus on what I'd like to focus on. So I think that's the possible future, that if you're going to use like AI for animation, it may be that it would be a good starting point, but you would have to tweak it. You would have to replace certain parts with your own animation to make it really great. Point number 3. I think that AI would actually improve creativity. There are like multiple layers to a motion design project. There's script, there's storyboard, there's design, there's animation, there's sound design, and etc. I'm an animator, but I could also say that animation is not the most important part in an animated movie or in an animated project. It's the story. Can you make the audience feel something? And if AI can do the tedious parts of animation, then this would allow us animators to focus on the more important aspects of the animation pipeline. We can focus on what can we do to make this scene more emotional. Maybe in this future, AI can like do this really quickly because like it would cut down like the time. And maybe in this future, we could animate a scene in just 1 to 3 days instead of 2 to 3 weeks. If that is so, then we could create a lot of versions and then we could try things out. And then we could try something and see if this works or not. So now we could focus on the story. We could now focus on the emotional aspect of our animation instead of moving pixels, instead of like moving keyframes. Incorporating AI to automate like some process of the animation, that would allow us to look back and see the bigger picture. And some may say that I want to create something with my own hands, otherwise it's not art. And that's actually my point number 4. Even if AI will be around, human animation and human art will not go away. When every artist or painters and photography came along, it didn't kill painting. When digital tools came along, it did not kill traditional art. And some of you may even remember that before, some traditional artists doesn't consider digital art as art. But I think Now, almost everyone would agree that digital art is art. And when 3D animation came along, they said 2D is dead. And maybe to some extent, it was. Because when 3D animation came along, there was a drop in 2D animation in the big screens. But recently, there has been like a resurgence in 2D animation. So you see 2D animated films, you see animated series that are very good. There's a lot of very good anime movies, 2D commercials. 2D animation is everywhere. Open an app and there's 2D animation. 2D is far from dead. And I think the same will happen to human animation or human art. And this is just a bold prediction, but I think that human art and human animation would be valued more. Before, frame-by-frame animation is the only way to do animation. And then, different techniques were invented, discovered, like tweening, the cutout style, rigging, etc. that allows animators to animate faster. But frame-by-frame is far from dead. Frame-by-frame animation is actually a hot skill in the motion design world. So I think in the future, people with an eye for animation and a hand for animation would be valued more. And people who has those skills and who are really good at what they do, plus they incorporate AI tools into their workflow, these people would be valued even more, valued times 10. But that's just my personal opinion. So what can we do to prepare in an AI future? So the first is to learn the fundamentals. Learn the fundamentals of animation, learn proportion, anatomy, lighting, composition, cinematography, design principles, storytelling, whatever is essential in your field. So these things are timeless. No matter like what software you're going to use, no matter if you're going to use AI or not, you are going to need this. So focus on learning that. Learn the why. Learn why do you need to use this effect. Learn why we need to use this plugin. If you have a 5-step process, learn why you need to do step 1. Understand why you need to do step 2. And that's the reason why our tutorials can get very long sometimes. That's because I take the time to explain our thinking process, to explain the reason behind how we do things. But it's not only our channel that does that. So fish out the high-level stuff. Second is you need to improve your creative taste. I think our creative taste would play a crucial role in an AI future. So if you have a good taste in design, if you have a good taste in animation, I think you are on the right path. So how do you improve your creative palette? So just like our physical taste buds, right, that we need to eat or to taste different kinds of food, different cuisines. Creatively, the equivalent of that is to watch good movies, to watch good animation, to look at posters, appreciate good posters. And if it's accessible to you, go to museums, attend design events, design conferences, meet people, read books, read art books, watch motion design projects, follow highly creative people on Instagram and other social media. Feed your mind with ideas. Feed your mind with the good stuff and not junk. Third is, as long as it's ethical, emphasis on ethical, try AI. Don't be afraid of it. Learn it. And try to think of creative ways on how you can incorporate AI on your workflow. And AI isn't just limited to generative art. It's just not limited to, text inputs and that would generate like an image or a video. There's like a vast array of AI tools, and like some of them would like automate a certain of your process. Fourth is to continue to practice, hone your skills. You're going to need it in an AI future. Just like what I've said before, human art or human animation will never be dead. And if you have honed your skills, that's going to give you an edge. For the record, I'm not using AI. I just haven't figured out a way to incorporate it in my workflow, but it is part of my to-do list to look into it. Here are some like tools that I like want to see from AI. Like if I'll have my way, these are like the things I want to be invented. So AI has like a lot of potential. Imagine that you're doing character design and you're just gonna draw like one angle, and with a click of a button, AI would do like the rest of the angles. If AI could do that, that would really save time. I would really like, if that tool exists, I would use that tool. Next is I would like to see an auto shading tool. So in frame by frame animation, you draw the character frame by frame. And to do shading in frame by frame, you need to draw or add the shading one by one. If I'll get my way, right, to have this tool, an AI tool, I would want that there's just a button. You're just gonna like do like one frame so that the AI would have like a reference. So you'll just do one frame for the shading and then click like a button, and then AI would automatically use that information to do the shading for the rest of the video or for the rest of the frames. That would be really awesome. Next is auto cleanup. So all of the things I've mentioned before are like hypothetical AI tools that I want. So next is auto cleanup. Cleanup is a very tedious process, but imagine you're just gonna do the sketch, and then with just a click of a button with AI, it's going to convert that sketch into a clean line art. And maybe you'll have an option to like, do you want a raster version of it or a vector version of it? And finally, auto in-betweening. So you just do the key poses and then click a button, and then AI would do the in-betweens. And you might say that this already exists, right? There's tweening in Adobe Animate, and in Adobe After Effects, you've got keyframing. But these tools are limited to a rig, and when you animate, you don't draw like the key poses, right? You move, you move like the puppet. What I'm trying to refer to is that you draw the key poses. You draw the key poses, and then AI will draw the in-between. So this is like an AI for frame-by-frame animation. Wouldn't that be great if like all of these tools like exist? This is the tools that we want as artists, not the text to art, not the text to video. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll just apply to these AI companies and bring these ideas to them. Just kidding. If you've reached this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was insightful. And let me know in the comment section what you think of this video. And just a reminder to be respectful in the comment section. So you may agree with me or not, and that's okay. It's okay to have different point of view. Also, just a reminder to be nice. It's because it's a real person on the other side of the screen, and it doesn't mean that you have different views that it already gives you a permission to be rude, right? So always be nice. I think that's it for this video. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. So thanks, and I hope you'll have a nice day. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next video.